Okay, today we're going to talk about how to take your variable wheel and start to plan out your investigation with your partner. So far we have a variable wheel, and you've come up with some different variables that might affect the amount or types of bacteria that you might find here at South Middle. So let's say you put down things like the amount of water, or maybe the location, or whether a cleaning product was used or not. Or maybe the type of surface. Okay, these are all variables that would affect the amount or types of bacteria that you find here at South Middle. All right, your job, once you have a variable wheel, is to come up with an independent variable, dependent variable, constant conditions, and a hypothesis for your investigation. All right, and remember that once you have the variable wheel, the hard part is already done. You've already got the hard part figured out. Let's say, for example, that you really want to test location. You want to test two different locations and see how that affects the amount of bacteria that grows. Okay? Remember that when you're using a variable wheel in this way, location becomes your independent variable, and then the item in the middle becomes your dependent variable. And remember that if we're just going to test the location, that's going to be our independent variable. Everything else on the variable wheel should become a constant condition. We want to make sure that both of the locations that we collect from have the same amount of water. We want to make sure that both the locations that we collect from aren't being cleaned with a cleaning product. We want to make sure that both the locations that we collect from have similar surfaces that we collect from. Everything else on the variable wheel should become a constant condition. All right. Once you're done identifying your independent variable and dependent variables, I want you to work on your hypothesis. Erase this here. Okay, so we're going to scroll down here. All right, so your job is to write out in your notebook, what is your IV going to be for your investigation? What's your DV going to be? What are your constant conditions going to be? What is your research question? And when you're finished with that, I want you to finally write down your hypothesis. I want you to talk it over with your partner, and I want you to come up with a testable statement that is in the if-then format for your hypothesis, just like we learned about in class. All right, when you have all that done, I want you to show Mr. R, show me, and I will check it off. Make sure that you're heading down the right path, the right direction, and if you are, I'm going to talk to you about your procedure and get you started on that so that you can start collecting your bacteria.